Hey, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to cover the process that I used in order to set up a test lab. In my case, as you will see in the previous videos, we are using Portainer to manage our Docker environment. Now, one of the things that I needed a Docker container that I could use to set up and shut down services, whether it's for my YouTube videos or just testing out new self-hosted services or solutions. So that's exactly what this is today. And how we're going to do it is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to utilize different services that you may not or may be familiar with, such as GitLab. We're going to build out a Docker container image, our own custom one. We're going to deploy to the Docker container registry within GitLab, and then we're going to go ahead and deploy that within Portainer. So let's get right into the video. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to get into today, here is our stacks in our Portainer. Dashy, N8N, Portainer, Proxy Manager, all of which we have talked about in the past. Here's the newest stack that we are setting up today is our test lab. Now this is simply just a blank, pretty much a blank Docker container or a blank image, allowing us to do whatever we want with it. So in this case, in the future, if we ever have to pull in the latest changes, or if we ever just want to tear this one down and bring a new one up, we could go ahead and do so, and it will not have any, not cause any problems within our home lab that are actually running services that we use on a day-to-day basis. Now, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, here is the test lab YAML file or the cloud formation that we're going to be using stored in GitLab. So just it's bare bones. You got your image, and that's going to be the one we're going to build today from a Docker file and store it into our Docker registry here on our GitLab. And then we're just going to name it, and then we got some ports. Again, this is just bare bones just to get you guys started. So we're going to do that today. We're going to build this out, push it to the registry, build out this cloud formation, show you how that all works, deploy that stack. And then we're also going to get into Ansible. And what Ansible will do is it will allow you to provision your new servers or even existing servers with different tools and services that you may need. All right, so we just talked about the Docker compose file. I'm going to go into the Docker files directory that we had created. And in here, we're going to have a test lab Docker file. So what that is it's going to be the image that we go ahead and create and build. And then we're going to go ahead and store that image in our Docker container registry here on GitLab. Now it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to cover everything, but as you can see, it's using Ubuntu 22.04. We get some updates, it creates a user, creates some directories. One thing that I want to point out is it's going to be this right here. So one of the good things about doing so, or about doing this, is that we could go ahead and create a key pair, push that key pair into this image, or take that public key pair into this image. So anytime we spin this up and we have this key pair, locally on our server or anywhere, we can go ahead and get right into this machine after we spin it up in a test environment, and we don't have to configure it every time. So that's pretty handy. Change some ownership, change the no password. Change the password authentication for the SSHD config, but that's pretty much it for the Docker file. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just show you really quickly on how you go ahead and build this and push it to the container registry. All right, so here I pulled down that Docker file that we had just discussed. I'm just going to go ahead and just make a copy of it real quick, and just do test lab and just name it Docker file just for simplicity's sake. And then we're going to go ahead and just I'm just going to paste this command for now. Well, I guess I don't have it, but I'll show you how to do it. So we're going to go ahead and go into our, back into our GitLab instance, go into the deploy container registry. You're going to see a few different images here that I played with in the past, and also two of which were in videos for the N8N. Here in the top right, you're going to see the CLI commands. Go ahead and click on the build an image and grab that and copy that command there. Open your terminal again, and just to kind of explain what's going on here, you're going to see a Docker. We posted in that command, pasted in that command. So we got Docker build -t, and then it's going to specify the registry, and that's going to be the GitLab URL, and then we're going to go ahead and just name it YouTube Test Lab 2. And then this period is specifying the directory that we are currently working out of, and we're looking for Docker file by default, which is what we had just copied, and that's why I made that. Sorry, I didn't realize that I did Docker. So what I meant to do was do Docker file. Now when we run that command, it should build it out for us. In this case, sorry, we're failing because we don't have a test lab. So let's go ahead and I'll show you on how to do that real quick. Pretty straightforward. If you haven't done this in the past, I'll show you anyway. So SSH keygen is what you're going to use. -t option, we're going to specify the type for RSA. And then we're going to use just 4096. Obviously, there's a few options there. And then we're going to specify usually email, or in this case, I'll just put my username for this. It's going to come up and ask us for the name or path and the name. In this case, we'll just do YouTube, whatever the one that we were just looking for. So if we look at that error, it's going to be YT, where's that error at? YT-testlab.pub. No passphrase. Now if we run that build command, it should build it out no problem. Perfect. So now if we clear that out, we go back into our GitLab registry, and we could just literally just copy this again. It's going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be the same thing. But in this case, we're going to make sure that we grab the right one. So if you forget, go ahead and just do docker image ls. Look for the image that we had just created. Go ahead and copy that. And then if we do that same command, so it's the docker push. And as you can see, it might ask you to log in. I already logged in. Otherwise, you'll have to specify username and your token, or whatever you use to log in. In this case, we were good to go. So now if we head over to the Docker container registry within GitLab, go ahead and refresh that page. We should now see that we have a new image stored here, which is the YouTube-testlab2. All right, so now at this point, we pretty much have our test lab almost ready. So we could go over to the Portainer, go into the stacks. We'll go ahead and remove this old one. Yeah, we'll just remove it. Don't need it. That's the whole purpose of this. And then we're going to go ahead to the top right, click on Add Stack. And in this case, we're going to go click on the repository option. You have a few different options here, but since we already have it stored into our container registry on GitLab, that's what we're going to do here. Is we're just going to use this repository here. And we're going to name it, and we'll just say testlab-2 authentication. This I'll kind of just walk through myself, but I'll tell you what you need. So you need your username and you need your token. So I'll kind of do that at the end, so you don't obviously see anything that may be more revealing than it needs to be. The URL is obviously going to be the URL of that Docker Compose file that we had talked about. So let's go back into our home lab, and let's go into down at the bottom. So this test lab YAML file. And then we're going to go ahead and just grab this one here. So we'll just grab the URL, go back into here, and then we'll just do testlab.yaml. This could be left default as long as you are in the main branch, which is what we are. This is going to have to change. So sorry, this doesn't. This is the URL. So this could say here, and then this is going to be testlab.yaml. Everything else should be alone for default for this use case. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the username and token. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and deploy that stack. And as you can see, we now have the stack was successfully deployed. So now if we go into the test lab 2, there's a few different ways we could obviously do this. One of which within Portainer, which is nice, you go ahead and get a terminal right away. But since we go ahead and we did that Docker build with that public key pair, we could also SSH into it, which I will test out now. So from here, we should be able to use this private key, which is not sure what happened there. I think it's because I ran it when I already had this labeled. But it looks like if I read that out, which doesn't matter because we're going to do it anyway, this does look like a private key. So let's go ahead and just hope that this works. Otherwise, you just have to take my word for it that I know it works. But we'll do this. So now that's kind of identifying it as a private key pair. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into here, and let's go ahead and grab that IP address of that Docker container that is currently running, and then we'll do SSH, and we'll specify that IP address, the -i option for identity file, and then, yeah, look, it's not going to work. So let's just see for troubleshooting purposes. So if we run into that server, and we read out the contents of the home directory, so let's go into home. We should have that user that's created. Oh, maybe that's why actually I didn't even, nope. And then we'll do cd into SSH. So all that was created. And then if we read out this, looks like that's good to go as well. Let's just make sure that's what we're seeing here. It does look different than what I'm seeing here. So I'm not sure where that grabbed that from. All right, so now that we updated it, I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was just because it was going too fast and I was testing it and doing it. But in this case, now if we do it with that key pair that we had just created, it will, it should work. So let's go ahead and just go back up. Yep. All right, perfect. There you go. So that should have worked. So now we're in that test lab and we should have no problem moving forward. I'm actually going to close out today's video here, as I think this is dragging out more than what I wanted or what I originally intended. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I covered the process in order to allow you guys to set up a test lab, just a Docker, essentially a Docker image that you could easily spin up, spin down, test out services, and not have to worry about it messing up any of your services. Now, the reason why I want to use this, or why I need this right now, is when I continue to make YouTube videos, sometimes I do find myself playing around in an environment where I actually have other services running, and then I kind of mess things up, and I forget that I got to make changes. All of that is backed up, and all of it is I'm getting better at documenting. But with that being said, I think this is definitely the way forward. I'm going to close this video out, but before doing so, I'm just because I didn't like how I edited it like that, and I don't feel like going back and editing it, I want to show you what I mean as far as the SSH goes, because it should be a lot easier than what happened. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that without talking. Go ahead and just tune in and check it out. But that's going to close out today's video. Again, the whole purpose of this video was to quickly stand up a Docker image or Docker container, so you go ahead and test out your services, test out any new services, and not break anything. And if you do break anything, you just go ahead, tear it down, and tear it back up, or bring it back up. In another video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Ansible. Ansible is going to be used in my home lab, not just for the test lab, but it's going to be used to continuously run playbooks, such as updating my servers, or even provisioning new servers, or even provisioning existing servers with different resources that I found are more useful as the time goes on within this environment. So that's going to be in a future video, not sure when, but that's going to close out today's video. I hope you were able to take something away, and as always, never stop learning.